Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. I've got Tubby here helping me out. He just came from the groomer and he's looking very handsome. We are going to do another great workout you can do in your home again today. All furry friends invited. So what we're going to need for equipment is one dumbbell, probably medium weight, maybe a little bit heavier. You can kind of decide as we go along. A lighter set of dumbbells, a foam roller, if you have one. If not, we can figure out maybe a rolled up towel, beach towels or something, and a small ball or something that you can hang on to. It doesn't have to weigh anything, just something small. So remember to come into these workouts warmed up and ready to move. Get your heart rate up a little bit, your muscles warmed up and ready to go. Okay, so we're going to start today with a split stance squat or static lunge with a row. So you may want to do this next to something because when your feet are spread this far apart, it can present a balance challenge as well. So remember to start with your tummy nice and tight. I want your feet really in a nice big step forward. What we're going to do is we're going to go down into a little bit of a lunge and then row up. So I want you kind of tipped forward at the hips. Notice that my back is straight though. So we're doing a split stance squat here with a row. So bent at the hips, squeezing that shoulder blade, driving your elbow towards the ceiling. Breathing. 7, 8, 9, and 10. So no forward hunching like this, keeping that back nice and straight. You've got that nice big lunge or split stance squat, and then going down, just like you're going to kneel down onto the ground, and then come up and row. So you're tipped forward at the hips, driving your elbow up. 3, 4, keeping that back nice and straight. We're getting lots of muscle groups here, keeping that tummy tight. 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. All right, good. Like I said, do that next to something. If you need the balance, that's fine. I'd rather have you use good form than feel like you're wobbling all over the place. Okay, now we're going to lower down to the ground on your hands and knees. So hands directly beneath your hips, or hands directly beneath your shoulders, knees directly beneath your hips. And bring one leg straight up like this so you're in a knee bend. And I want you to pretend you're going to push the ceiling away with your heel. So we're doing donkey kicks. Not a huge movement. I'm coming down a little and then really only coming up to about parallel so my thigh is parallel with the floor. My goal is to keep my back flat. 8, 9, 10. All right, switch legs. If you start to get a hamstring cramp, straighten out that leg. Stretch out that hamstring. Bring that knee just like you're trying to push the ceiling away with the bottom of your foot, but also keeping that back flat. So I don't want you really going up like that. Really isolating those glutes, getting a little bit of hamstring here as well. And rest. Good. Now, if you need to, you can go into a hamstring stretch a little bit, doing a downward dog straight from that if you do start to get a hamstring cramp. Okay, now we're going to stand back up. So remember to do this slowly. Get your weight over your hips here. Stand up slowly as you're ready. And now we're going to grab those 2 smaller dumbbells, and we're going to do forward raises. So we can always do a little bit of a balance challenge when we're just doing one thing. If you have back pain, it might be good to sit on a ball with this, but always think about keeping your tummy engaged to help prevent your back from taking over. So we could do a tandem stance or a staggered stance here. And I want to bring those weights forward. I'm going to make sure here. So we're just going to raise them straight to the front. Now, stopping right about shoulder height or just below so that we're not creating any impingement problems. If this hurts your shoulders, you could try turning your arms like this, just like you're lifting up a can or a water bottle or something. Try both different ways. 9 and 10. So nice and slowly here. If you feel like you're having to kind of do this to lift that weight, grab a smaller weight. Then you're starting to substitute. You're starting to use your back and use momentum. Nice and slowly, both directions. Smaller is always better for this one so that you don't start to substitute. All right, next, we're gonna go lower back down to the ground and grab that foam roller. We're going to do psoas marches. So your psoas are these deep muscles in your hips here. And if you have done this one before and you know what you're doing, you can grab a band to put around your feet here. We're going to use this foam roller. I have a small one here. You don't need a really big one. And lying flat on your back, you want to put the foam roller a little bit higher on your calves to start. That's a little bit easier than if you were to put the foam roller way down here on your ankles. So kind of right up there in the middle of your calf. And you're going to pull up into a bridge, so it's not very high, but you've got a nice straight line here, and then you're going to march your knees. So we're getting those hamstrings here as well. Now, if you are pulling up against a band that's wrapped around your toes, you're getting a little bit more of that psoas engagement. Now, you can keep going in that bridge, or you can come down, rest a little, and then keep going. So this one is really challenging. So I would start with just 5. We're gonna do one more each side. Start with just 5. See how that goes. And if you need to come up into that bridge, do 1 on each side and then rest, that's okay. Even if you're just doing 3 or 4 to start, that's fine. This is a really challenging one, and people always say, oh, I'm not lifting my hips very high. It's not a very big movement, and you're right, you're not going to be lifting your hips very high, but it's a very controlled movement targeting those hips, hamstrings, and your core as well as having to engage there as well. So next we're going to stay on the floor, and we're going to do a plank. So let's do this on your elbows, and we're going to do tiny little marches. Now, if you're not ready for that, that's fine. Just hold the plank. Hold it for as long as you can, maybe 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds. I'm going to go for 30 here. 3, 2, 1. We're going to start here. Now, you want those elbows directly beneath your shoulders. And if you can, I'm going to do tiny little marches. When you do this, don't let your hips go up like this. You want to keep your hips nice and flat, nice and slow, breathing, and also tiny marches, not big ones. We want tiny marches, controlled and quiet. Pretend you're doing these in the early morning and you don't want to wake anybody up. All right, that's 30 seconds. Slow, controlled, quiet. And that's only if you're ready. If you want to try a couple marches and you find that it's a little bit difficult, that's fine. Try a couple, then just hold the plank. Or if you can do about 15 seconds with your marches and then hold the plank, kind of ease into that one. That's definitely kind of a variation that's a step up. Okay, now we're going to stand back up, grab that small ball or object, and we're going to do some balance training. So stand up nice and slowly so we don't get dizzy. And we're going to do a ball pass. So lots of variations to challenge that balance. What I want you to do to start is either do your staggered stance, your tandem stance, or a single leg. If you're ready for that, do it next to something sturdy. You could stand with your back against a wall. You could stand next to your kitchen counter. You could stand next to something, just something sturdy. So we're going to work on this for 30 seconds. Slowly passing that ball from hand to hand, side to side. Now, if this feels pretty easy, what you can do then is, you know it's coming, you're gonna watch that ball. So turn your head, watch the ball. We got 7 more seconds. That definitely increases the challenge. If you start to get dizzy, stop watching the ball and go back to this. All right, switch legs. So if you're standing in a tandem stance, put the other foot in front, or a staggered stance. So start, each side is different. So start by just switching sides. If you feel like you're ready, you can start to watch it. Even if you just watch it a little bit and you still keep your gaze at the center, you can kind of slowly adjust. Hold it in the middle if you're starting to lose your balance. You may also be feeling this in your arms by the end because we've done those shoulder exercises. All right, good. Okay, continue to challenge yourself just a little, up it just a little. Go through these 1 or 2 more times. Add some cardio in between. Follow up with a cool down and stretches. And as always, please don't hesitate to message me. You can send me a private message, leave something in the comments. Let me know if you need any alterations or if you have any suggestions. All right, thank you everybody. We'll see you next time.